very reasonable arguments. I'm a bit saddened by the fact that we have ended on a less optimistic note than I had hoped. But on this whole question that has continued to come about who is a settler and who is where, I know that about 90% or 99% of us sitting here don't belong to Abuja. But that is where we are. I don't think, although the Gwaris own this place, but I'm sure some of the best buildings in Abuja today belong to soldiers and politicians who have absolutely very little to do with claims of indigeneity here. It's just to make the point that, you know, we at the end of the day, just like he said, he's living in Zaria, he was born in Zangon Katav, and so on. There are a lot of people that are sharing these identities. There is a Nigerian who is living in New York. He's not a Nigerian in the United States. He's not an American citizen, but he owns a whole island to himself. And I'm sure that the senior advocate knows his name. I will not call his name, but he owns an island himself. He's not an American citizen. He's still a Nigerian. Al Fayed, who owns the most expensive shop in London, the British have still refused to give him citizenship. And his son would have married Princess Diana, except for the events that happened. I just want to underscore the point that at the end of the day, a lot of these claims, they are important, we now know, but life has to go on. Many of these questions are issues that traditional institutions can never resolve. The elite can never resolve them. Unfortunately, we are allowing politicians to do what intellectuals and academicians ought to be doing, namely trying to explain where our societies are coming from. We are largely a semi-feudal society, and semi-feudalism moving towards modernization. There are bound to be conflicts. Otherwise, it is a tragedy that in this day we are talking of democracy, that we should be talking about wanting our chiefs and wanting our... This is not, democracy is about representation, and we cannot have representation that is not based on acceptance. You decide on whom you want to represent you. So I think we have had all this. The points have been very well made and very well canvassed, but I'm sure when your father was growing up, along with the president of Watiap, they didn't have any conflicts. That is because everybody had an idea about where they belong, and the point has been very well made. If you live in Britain, if you live in America, as long as you don't break their law, no matter, the laws may not be acceptable to you. But if they are not acceptable to you, this is what freedom is. You can move elsewhere. Nature doesn't allow you to choose your neighbors, as the saying goes, but it allows you to choose your friend, which is that you could be here, but your best friend is in South Africa. So I think the points have been made, but I was hoping on a very optimistic note that given the amount of time we've given to this case and all points of view have been canvassed, that will end on a more positive note, because I just pity the ordinary people maybe in Zango and the ordinary people in parts of Zango and Katav that are listening to this, who will probably go back with them thinking that the battle lines are still largely drawn. And I'm quite worried that we didn't seem to have come closer to reconciliation in a way that I had expected after all positions have been canvassed, because at the end the commission will make its recommendations, but the process of living in peace is largely not even the product of the Kaduna State government with all the best of intentions. Even after releasing a white paper, that will have to be hammered out by the Katav people and the Hausa people. And as I said, I really would have hoped that on a more optimistic note, at least, not an artificial gesture, but that I would have liked something that the Hausa people can take back to their people in Zango and say, well, this is how far we went in Abuja. This is what we still need to do. The Katav people will still be able to say, this is how far we went in Abuja. This is how we still need to, what we still need to do. Because my feeling is that we have ended up almost as we started, we've learned a lot. And the points have been made, but I was hoping that, that General Lekwood haven't stated his case and the case of his people, many of whom were illiterate and didn't know they had even been condemned to death in English. That now that this point has been very well made, where do we go from here? I think this is, there is need for magnanimity of sorts. And we, the elite, need to be able to show something very positive that our people can take away, because this is the end of the sitting of this commission. After today, we'll make our recommendations, but I don't think that the president of Nigeria is going to go to Zango Katav to make peace. So I just like to end on that note.